Thousands of people have been demonstrating again in the Georgian capital, the third night of protest, despite Georgia's ruling party saying it would withdraw a controversial draft law targeting organisations that receive foreign funding. The opposition says it will keep fighting against what it sees as Russian-inspired attempts to derail Georgia's pro-European ambitions. Our Russia editor Steve Rosenberg reports from the capital, Tbilisi.
Outside the parliament, it was clear where most Georgians see their country's future. Clear, too, the results of people power. The protesters had won. They'd forced a U-turn. The ruling party had withdrawn the controversial Foreign Agents Bill that many here saw as a threat to civil society. And they accused their government of trying to move Georgia back into Russia's orbit.
We don't really want to be part of Russia and everything they're doing. The whole Georgia is against it, actually.
What do most Georgians want?
We want more integration in Europe. This is our goal. This is our main request. Since we want to be part of Europe.
The scene earlier this week. Pitched battles by the Parliament building. Water cannon and tear gas to disperse the demonstrators. But it didn't stop the protests. And along with the EU flag, out of solidarity, the flag of Ukraine. The war there and events here have something in common. In many ways, what's happened in Georgia this week and what's happened in Ukraine are part of the same picture. Both these countries were part of the Soviet Union. And more than 30 years after the fall of the USSR, the consequences of that geopolitical earthquake, the collapse of the Soviet superpower, are still being felt across the region. In Ukraine, the Kremlin launched a full-scale invasion to try to force the country back into Russia's sphere of influence. It invaded Georgia too, more than a decade earlier. There are thousands of Russian troops on what is internationally recognized as Georgian territory.
Russian aggression against Georgia and Russian aggression against Ukraine are parts just of the same picture of Putin's policy to restore his influence in the, his neighborhood and restore some new version of the Soviet Union.
This week, Georgians have made it clear they want no part of it. Steve Rosenberg, BBC News, Tbilisi.